Knights represent superheroes of the Middle Ages. Get to know more about 8 of the greatest and toughest medieval knights. When we evoke the Middle Ages, images of fortified castles, mighty kings, and great knights in armor immediately come to mind. In the collective imagination, knights, whether real or fictitious, represent superheroes of the Middle Ages. They jousted in their shiny armor, wearing a token of their damsel's love. Kings, lords, and popes granted the title of knighthood to men appointed to serve as mounted warriors. At first, a simple function, knighthood became a lower nobility title during the High Middle Ages. Along with the development of chivalry in literature, medieval knights became more than simple warriors. The chivalry ideal implied following a code of conduct, serving one's lord and king, showing bravery, being pious, and sometimes rescuing the damsel in distress. Knights still fascinate today. Countless tales, novels, and movies exalt these fearless warriors with an impeccable moral. We will not evoke legendary knights such as the famous King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Instead, read along to discover more about great medieval knights who really existed. Sometimes history blends with the legend. The knights' impressive achievements have been told and written for centuries, with added embellishments. Yet it does not diminish their remarkable feats. Number 1. Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, also known as El Cid Campeador. Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, better known as El Cid or El Cid Campeador, is one of the most iconic figures in Spanish medieval history. His life, marked by military genius, political complexity, and enduring legend, made him a national hero of Spain. Born around 1043 in the small village of Vivar near Burgos, in the Kingdom of Castile, Rodrigo came from the lower nobility, but quickly rose through the ranks thanks to his bravery and tactical skill. He began his military career under King Sancho II of Castile, where he proved himself on the battlefield and earned the title El Campeador, meaning Master of the Battlefield. This was a rare honor, signifying his dominance in combat and his exceptional leadership. After Sancho's assassination, Rodrigo transferred his loyalty to Sancho's brother, King Alfonso VI, despite the political tension between them. Rodrigo's relationship with Alfonso VI was uneasy. In 1081, following a political dispute, Rodrigo was exiled from Castile. During his exile, he entered the service of the Muslim ruler Al-Mu'taman Billah of Zaragoza, fighting against both Christian and Muslim forces as a mercenary. It was during this period that he became known as El Cid, derived from the Arabic word Sidi, meaning lord or master. His collaboration with Muslim leaders was pragmatic rather than ideological, reflecting the shifting alliances of the time. El Cid's military brilliance shone brightest during the later stages of the Reconquista, particularly in his conquest of Valencia in 1094. There he ruled independently until his death in 1099. His victories were not only military but also political, as he managed to maintain order and authority in a city of mixed Christian and Muslim populations. This balance of power showcased his diplomatic skill and strategic thinking. Beyond his battlefield achievements, El Cid is also remembered for his legendary romance with Jimena Diaz, a noblewoman and niece of King Alfonso VI. Their relationship became the subject of numerous literary works, including the 17th century French play Le Cid by Pierre Corneille. Though heavily fictionalized, the play helped elevate El Cid's status in European culture, portraying him as a tragic hero torn between love and honor. After his death, El Cid became a symbol of Spanish unity, courage, and honor. His legacy was cemented through epic poems, chronicles, and legends, particularly the Cantar de Mio Cid, one of the oldest surviving works in Spanish literature. To this day, El Cid remains a defining figure of medieval Spain and a symbol of heroic virtue. Number 2. Godfrey of Bouillon, the First Crusader. Godfrey of Bouillon stands as one of the most iconic figures of the First Crusade and a symbol of the ideal Christian knight. Though a historical figure, his legacy was quickly elevated into legend, turning him into the archetype of the fearless, pious warrior devoted to faith and duty. His life embodied the spirit of the crusading era, a time when European knights took up arms to fight for religious ideals and reclaim sacred territories. Born around 1058 into the powerful Boulogne family, Godfrey was the second son of Eustace II, Count of Boulogne, a nobleman who had supported William the Conqueror at the Battle of Hastings. As a younger son, Godfrey was not expected to inherit his father's lands or title. However, his uncle, Duke Godfrey VI of Lower Lorraine, nicknamed the Hunchback, had no children and passed on his duchy to his nephew. This inheritance included a vast territory spanning what is now parts of Belgium and the Netherlands. Godfrey later took his name from Bouillon Castle, one of his main holdings. In 1095, Pope Urban II called upon Christian nobles to take back Jerusalem from Muslim control. This appeal marked the beginning of the First Crusade. Unlike many nobles who hesitated, Godfrey answered the call with unwavering faith. He sold or mortgaged much of his land to finance the expedition, demonstrating his deep religious commitment. He led one of the main Crusader armies and endured the treacherous 3-year journey toward the Holy Land. In June 1099, after years of battle, starvation, and hardship, the Crusaders reached Jerusalem. The siege was brutal, but the city eventually fell. Godfrey was reportedly the first to scale the walls during the final assault, leading his men to victory. Chroniclers like Tancred of Galilee wrote of his heroic deeds, including a moment where he is said to have cleaved an enemy soldier entirely in two with a single strike. His courage and discipline made a lasting impression. Following the city's capture, the Crusaders offered him the crown of Jerusalem. However, Godfrey refused to be called king in the land where Christ had worn a crown of thorns. Instead, he humbly accepted the title Protector of the Holy Sepulchre, placing spiritual leadership above worldly power. Godfrey died unexpectedly in 1100, only a year after the conquest, possibly from illness or poison. His early death only enhanced his legendary status. To many, Godfrey of Bouillon became the very model of the selfless knight, fighting not for riches or glory but for faith, sacrifice, and divine purpose. Number 3. William Marshal, England's greatest medieval knight. William Marshal, often hailed as England's greatest knight, rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most respected and powerful figures of medieval Europe. Born around 1146 into a minor noble family, William's early life gave little indication of the legendary status he would one day achieve. Through unmatched loyalty, martial skill, and political acumen, he served 5 English kings and left a lasting legacy in both English history and the ideals of knighthood. William began his formal training to become a knight at the age of 12, as was common in the 12th century. He quickly distinguished himself through courage, discipline, and an unwavering sense of honor. During his early years, he lived the life of a knight-errant, traveling across Europe in search of tournaments and combat. This was more than mere sport. It was a way for knights to earn fame, fortune, and valuable connections. William's prowess in these competitions became legendary. He was rarely defeated, and his success earned him both admiration and wealth. His reputation eventually caught the attention of the English crown. He entered royal service under King Henry II and quickly rose through the ranks. What made William exceptional was not just his martial talent, but his fierce loyalty. He went on to serve Henry II's sons, including the infamous Richard the Lionheart and King John. Under these rulers, William often played a diplomatic role as well as a military one. In 1189, he was rewarded for his service with the hand of Isabel de Clare, one of the richest heiresses in the land. This marriage elevated William to the ranks of the most powerful nobles in England. William's role in shaping English history peaked during the reign of King John. Amid civil unrest and rebellion from the barons, William became a key figure in negotiating peace, helping lay the groundwork for the Magna Carta in 1215. After John's death, William was named protector and regent for the young Henry III. In his 70s, like an extraordinary age at the time, William still led armies in battle and governed the realm with wisdom. He died in 1219 at the age of 72, a rare longevity for a medieval warrior. His life was later immortalized in a detailed biography, L'Histoire de Guillaume le Maréchal, making him one of the best documented knights of the era. William Marshal remains a symbol of true chivalry and one of England's greatest medieval heroes. Number 4, William Wallace, the famous Scottish knight. William Wallace remains one of the most celebrated and enduring symbols of Scottish resistance and national pride. Known for his unwavering courage and defiance against English rule, Wallace's life became the foundation for countless legends, literary works, and cinematic portrayals. Most notably the